you're someone that wants to get ahead in life, working hard is common. If you can build discipline, that's gonna get you that extra mile in life, hit the extra large goals you have. Discipline's just gonna get you a lot farther than the average hardworking person.
What's the importance of focus in today's world? You have an abundance of things that are trying to grab your attention.
Well, there's a lot of distractions out there, especially with technology. I'm able to focus by setting boundaries for myself. Cold turkey just doesn't work for me with a lot of stuff, including things like screen time, unfortunately. So I build on it. For the time being, I set boundaries like putting my phone on Do Not Disturb if I'm doing deep work or after work hours. Now, after 6 months of having this routine, I naturally don't look at my phone as much. So it creates the habit of just like, I don't even know what you would call it. Would it be intensifying it, or would it be?
Eliminating it? It's a habit?
It's almost like the habit's been automated in my brain, and that's just due to building the habit long enough. Continuing to uphold those boundaries that I've made has over time built that habit enough where now I don't necessarily need to look at my phone as much or want to.
And then over time that builds discipline.
Right.
And then you can take that discipline from that sector and move it into other sectors of your life.
Yep. Well said. Come on in. Habits are important to me because, I learned the importance of it the last really 4 years since COVID. When I had my own internal reality check that I wanted higher expectations for myself. Habits are a way of keeping yourself accountable without actually having to put an immense amount of effort into it. And so I think that ties with discipline as well, meaning you have to practice something long enough in order for it to become a habit, but once it is, it saves you time, energy, you're organically doing it over and over again. You don't even really have to think about it. So that is the benefit from it, and that's why habits are so important, because after you put in the work, they pretty much stick with you and it comes naturally, way more natural than prior to working on it. I remember this clear as day, and you definitely know what I'm talking about. The day, unfortunately, and sorry for anyone watching who worked with me, but the day that I received my first promotion where I was leading people. I had been working so hard for that promotion for a year, overtime, late nights, early mornings. First day on the job, I remember just having this awful feeling of dread, knowing that it felt like before I received the promotion, that was the goal. That was the job I was going to be in for years. But I also knew myself well enough to know that there's so much untapped potential. So when I got the job, got the thing, I suddenly realized that I needed higher expectations for my life and for myself. Different roles work for different people. It wasn't for me. That was my reality check. That was my come to Jesus moment. And so that's when I decided I really needed to build discipline in certain areas, especially trying to figure out what the vision was of what I wanted for my life. And that's a whole nother topic. Sometimes my old habits and my new habits conflict. So I feel like I stunt my own growth. For example, my diet, right? I'm trying to build discipline around my diet because I have an image or a certain level of health that I'm trying to reach, but I still have old habits of snacking on the weekends, which is currently what I'm working through. I'm gonna hit a plateau, I'm gonna stay stagnant. So I would say the biggest challenges are continuing to be self-aware of my current healthy habits as well as my toxic old ones. But it's difficult because you're always changing, it's always continuing to evolve. So you always have to keep reassessing where you're at. That alone takes time and energy, which distracts me and prohibits me sometimes from discipline. But as long as you identify it and just acknowledge it as a bottleneck in the process, then you can move past it eventually. Just one day at a time, continue to do it every single day. Oh my gosh. I laugh because time management is a big focus for me right now, especially in my job. Working for a startup, there's a lot of moving parts and you wear a lot of different hats, which is what I was looking for. But that being said, there just isn't enough time in the day to accomplish all the little tasks that a high achiever may like to. That's me. It actually makes me uncomfortable. So I put myself in that situation. All this to say, being able to prioritize tasks that inch the business forward or your goals forward, all of them matter, but some are more timely than others and will make more traction than others. So just really being able to own that and also continue to evolve my calendar and protect my time, because in a startup, you're always pivoting and changes are happening all around you consistently. So it's only natural that your habits and your process are going to evolve as well. That altogether has been a huge eye-opener for me over the last 6 months. But now I feel confident that in the future, if I'm running my own business, I don't have to stress as much with all the things that I have on my plate. I understand that it's normal and that other people with the same goals that I do are also dealing with it. So yeah, it's time management has a completely new definition for me than it did even 6 months ago. The most self-destructive habit, I need to think about this. Not because I'm perfect, but because I haven't thought about that in that context before. Oh, I mean, it's more of a mindset thing, but just being complacent. I don't know. I mean, I've been complacent in the past, not knowingly. I don't think I realized I was being complacent. But when reality hits you as an adult and you have to take care of yourself, something hits you where you realize you really got to be specific about how you spend your time and how you provide for yourself in this life, because no one's going to do it for you. When you start hitting those 40, 50, 60-hour weeks for a company that doesn't value you or you don't enjoy your work, that should spark something. It's just whether or not you answer to that and take action on it, in my opinion. I hope this video reaches someone who was in my spot maybe 3-4 years ago, where I was just on the cusp of realizing what I wanted out of this one lifetime, and discipline is something that has without a doubt changed my perspective entirely. Once I started discovering my limits and my possibilities through building discipline, it's like my mental barriers opened up. So for anyone that's just feeling like they have hopes and aspirations that seem unachievable, I hope you find this video and even just take a little nugget out of it to propel you forward and use tomorrow to make you better. And if you have any suggestions on maybe areas we can touch on in the next video, feel free to drop them in the comments. And until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye.